me show you this really cool place here. What's up guys, it's AJ from 79 Prospecting. We're having a Go-Palooza today. We got a bunch of people out here. We're gonna be teaching, we're gonna be panning, we got a sluice up, we're gonna have a high banker up, just a lot of different ways to find gold, and we're gonna have a ton of fun. Let's go ahead and get started. So Grant, what's your game plan today, buddy?
Well, I was testing right in this area and I'm getting a little bit of color. So I'm kinda gonna test, bucket it up, and put it in the sluice box right there. And
there you go.
See what happens at the end of the day. But I love panning, so I like to stop every now and then. Okay, let me take a pan, and I get a little bit of color, but not enough to really show the camera. But
there you go.
But anyway,
you never know.
Never know.
Pan it out. That's the fun of it. About a quarter bucket of material. The test pans aren't too incredible, a couple specs, they're very fine, but let's go ahead and run this. It's a little more of a bulk sample. We'll run it through my Gold Hog flow pan and see what we can find. All right, let's go ahead and pan this out and see what we can find on that quarter bucket test. All right, so we found a couple of small pieces of flour gold, one slightly bigger piece in the middle, but not too much for a quarter bucket of screen material. So let's go ahead and poke a hole in a new spot and see what we can find. Look at all these rocks. It's just a pile of rocks and sand here, but it's definitely not a natural pile. This is a tailings pile from the old mine. And you know, this is a fun place to dig too. You get a lot of flour gold from these piles. The old timers missed probably about 50% of the gold with their old school techniques. So you get a lot of flour gold, but there's a lot of bigger rocks here too. So, you know, they screened it out just like we do in the modern day. And sometimes if they have bigger nuggets, they get screened out here. Let's try our luck here and see what we can find. So this material is very different than the stuff I typically dig. It almost looks like play sand. The reason is, you know, this tailings pile, what they were doing is they were crushing quartz from the gold bearing veins. Then they were running it through their sluice box or whatever they're using to catch the gold. And they were dumping all the tailings on the side after they ran it. But as I said, they missed a lot of the gold. So this is a really cool area to test out and see what you can find. You can almost always find something here. It tends to be really, really fine pieces of gold. A lot of people call it flour gold, but you know, this is an easy way to get some gold. And this type of material is really amenable to doing high banking on, because you can dump this stuff in very quickly and run a lot of it. This might be a cool place to bring the trauma later in the year. All right, let's go ahead and run this through the flow pan. This is going to be fast because it's loose and it's sandy. Hopefully we find a lot of fine gold at the end. One bucket down in about 2 minutes, not bad. Let's go ahead and pan this out and see what we can find. Well, we found one speck and it's floating away on us. So that is probably not worth our time. So I'm gonna move to a slightly different area and try our luck there and see if we can find something else. Hopefully that gold doesn't float away. Woo! All right, we're gonna head to a new area. It's an area that Graham and I have worked a couple of times, found some good gold. We're gonna take the crew up there and see what we can find. Let me show you this really cool place here. So this is an example of decomposed bedrock here. So it used to be solid. You know, there's not gonna be gold way down in there, but you can look a little higher up here. You can see that contact layer between the gravel and this old decomposed bedrock. You know, that might be an interesting area we're digging. Now this is technically the bank, so we're gonna kind of steer clear away from here, but a little bit further down there off the bank, that might be an interesting area to scrape the top off and see what we can find. All right, so my man Andrew here, he's scraping the top of that decomposed bedrock. He knows that's where the good stuff is. I think he's watched my channel once or twice. So he's doing a good job scraping it up, putting it in his pan. We're gonna take it down to the stream and see what it holds.
Wow, look at that. It's like crystalline. Don't fuck the camera, Dad.
No, I won't do that.
Yes, sir, that's right. Every time we run these
All right, so we're all just working that decomposed muck here, classifying it down and seeing what we find. Well, this is the gold we got from a couple of pans from that one area. I cleaned it up in my gold claw. Really, really nice gold. A couple of chunkier pieces, rough. I love it. So we're gonna keep digging in the same area and see what else we can find.
Well, this is definitely going to make our vials a little bit bigger. Because this is probably more than we've ever gotten.
Awesome, that's what I like to hear. We're moving to a different area here, just a little further downstream. And this is interesting, I've never dug here before. There's a lot of hard bedrock here, and there's a couple places where it's starting to decompose. You can see right here, this stuff is starting to all break up and flake off. So there's a couple interesting areas. There's a little alcove over here, even though it's an outside corner. There might be a low pressure area where the water kind of spins and churns. We'll check that out. You got an inside corner right here. We can dig right over here and check that out. Got a couple areas a little further downstream that Andrew's checking out there, so we'll see what we can find.
But you said you've never dug here, huh?
I have never dug here. Never. Which is why I'm really... Oh. That is interesting. I did not expect that to give way like this. So this is a hard piece of bedrock and it dives really deep down here. So this is interesting. It'll be cool to see if there's any gold here. Oh, there you go. Let's see. There's 1, 2. All right, so we found 2 microspecks. Not fantastic, but I want to dig deeper. That is a hole in the bedrock, so we're going to dig deeper and see if there's anything better further in. So you can see how Andrew's digging down there. He's just following the wall of the bedrock. We found a little bit of gold, but we didn't get to the bottom. So the question is there better gold that settled all the way on the bottom that's sitting on the bedrock? That's what we're going to see. That's what we're going to find out here shortly. All right, we found 1 or 2 microspecks, not worth our time, but you never know unless you dig it and pan it out. Don't ever make assumptions. Dig it. If you can't find gold, move on. But don't just walk past an area and say there's no gold there, because you never know. All right, so Andrew's cleaning up his final concentrates here from the day. Andrew, have you ever used the gold claw before?
I have not.
Okay, I showed him 2 times how to use it, and he's using it for the first time. So let's see how he does. So yeah, submerge the pan, so that's your catch pan, just in case. And just shake it, just keep shaking it. That's so cool. So this is why I use this for essentially all my final cleanups. It is the best finishing pan on the market, bar none. Check that out. I don't even need to attach my macro lens, guys. Check out all those chunky pieces of gold. Barely any black sand left. Very nice. All right, guys, we're calling it a trip. Another awesome trip down here. It was good to see Graham, and it's awesome to meet new friends too. So Andrew found some good gold, some nice chunky pieces. He said some of his biggest pieces that he's found so far, right? So,
yeah, by far.
Awesome. So we had a great time, and thanks for joining us too, guys. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Check out my Patreon channel to help support my channel, and we'll see you next time.